Mirabelle Coastlark first took breath on a lime-colored sunrise, 13 February 1999, in a cedar loft set high on piling posts above the turquoise sweep of Florida's Alligator Harbor. Outside, Mullet flicked silver coins across still water while her mother, a road-roaming soul banjo picker who tucks pressed gardenia petals inside her string pouch, threaded a sleepy cord that made enamel plates rattle on their hooks. Her father, a Tide Boy electrician who sketches cloud spoonbills on invoice pads, leaned so close, their freckles blurred, and promised his newborn that doc, gossip, hallway snickers, and shop racks choking at 14 would always move out of the way when a woman stands tall in her own size space. Birds have wandered the Coastlark family tree like warm Gulf Stream eddies hugging panhandle shallows, so nobody gasped when baby Mirabelle tore straight through a second cotton swaddle long before the kettle's first hiss. Granny Maybelle pinched a sailmaker needle through the wreck seams, patched the holes with triangles snipped off an old windsurf sail, then laughed that an extra fist of fabric cost pennies while compressing a child can bankrupt an entire future of sunrise. Grade school hallways smelled of sharpened cedar, guava pastry drifting from the canteen hatch, and briny breeze sneaking through warped louvers. Mirabelle already rose nearly a head above her desk mates and blocked the projector glow whenever she mapped sea turtle migration on the pull-down atlas. One sticky recess, two boys hop-skipped circles chanting, "Tug, barge!" Each thud her galoshes landed on chalk marks. That twilight she combed the rack line, pocketed soda caps polished pearl by Tide, threaded them onto fishing leader, stitched the loud chain straight down her seafoam hoodie, then walked into morning homeroom, scattering rainbow freckles across ceiling tiles the color of gull wings. Visiting reading aid caught 9 shaky seconds on a prepaid flip phone, uploaded the shimmer to a brand new video nook, and by lunch, 15,000 strangers had cheered the child who spun mockery into a lighthouse shine. Mirabelle wrote one lavender sentence beside long division drills: "Clouds crowd only until you flash them right enough to part." Weekends belonged to the oyster pier, where her mother's banjo twang wrapped around diesel coughs from shrimp boats, skillet pops from hush puppy stands, and gulls bartering for mullet tails. Store jeans quit halfway over Mirabelle's thighs, so she traded tip jar quarters for sun-blasted gill net, unraveled it into rope, crocheted a high waist skirt, misted it with squid ink dolphin silhouettes, then posed at mango flame sunset against rush striped palettes while her cousin snapped granny frames on a second-hand Canon. Each image floated into a diary she called Lantern Ripple. In the same week, an image app finally flickered across patchy salt marsh towers. Captions slid between boatyard slang and honest truth, like curves anchor gust, steadier than seawalls. 2 months before her 16th birthday, 48,000 unseen hearts hit the tiny heart icon beneath every tangerine frame. Proof that glowing rectangles hush cafeteria whispers more quickly than any vice principal whistle. A coast restoration scholarship hauled her north to the University of South Alabama. Daylight dissolved in wave tank labs. Nights belonged to a 24-hour gumbo wagon, glowing neon persimmon beneath live oak branches. The heat lamp served as her lone ring light. Between bold tickets, she filmed 90-second reels, folding parchment into fringed Bonnie barrettes while explaining dart rotation in half lecture flash and half shoreline hush. One upload laid bottlenose clicks on a lo-fi beat as she chain-stitched reflective anchor core into thrift denim. 46 hours later, the canner hopped beyond 1.3 million. Golf-style pages hailed her the gumbo couturiere, though every sponsor deck still froze at size 16. She dropped each pitch into a folder labeled shrinking nets, wiped cayenne butter from her cuff, and ladled another bowl. Her Korean Prep Week delivered an email stitched with Columbia Sportswear thread. The team invited her to co-design a Spurs shell capsule titled Salt Like Pulse. Mirabelle returned 3-pier strong terms, patterns through 60-inch hips, half the crew hire from community college sewing programs, 10% of net profit pledged to seagrass regeneration, from Apalachicola to A-list. Columbia signed before dawn, tinted the lab skylight melon. The shoot unfolded on a low-tide sandbar where sandalin chicks wrote commas toward mirror water. She guided paddle borders of every frame across glass ripples while a drone painted lazy infinity signs overhead. When the lookbook dropped, every extended size jacket sold out in 41 hours across 31 countries, and Lantern Ripple leapt beyond 700,000 lantern icons. Warm ripple of camaraderie here. If this tale already lights your inner show line, give that subscribe button the gentlest tap now. A single click keeps your front row rails so next week's voyage slips into your feed before algorithm waves can drag it seaward. And remember, down in the description waits a quiet link, a science-grounded compass that shows step-by-step how any honest soul can make romantic connection bloom and guide every talk towards sparkling attraction. Spotlight shimmer lured rumored pelicans. A gossip reel claimed Mirabelle cinched steel plates round her waist beneath salt light shells. Before sunrise, she paddled a cedar board past eel grass ribbons, stood wide, foot in linen shorts and sports bra, outlined each silver stretch rope with crushed bougainvillea petals, and loose a banjo lick so raw ospreys hovered still. 10 million viewers reposted that petal-proof, dusting pink pollen across their own curves until gossip sank smoother than slack tide. Bumblewagon wages entwined with capsule royalties and whipped into Coastlark cream, a feather-like butter swirling Tupelo custard, lime leaf oil, and mica sparks that glow shell white under any flash. 19,000 tins cooled on her father's chart desk, lids tied with braidish trot line, each tag printed "Moisturize your horizon." Inventory drained in 81 minutes, adding $197,000. 20% launched Beacon grants, sending industrial surgers and underwater microphones to plus-size teens in shoreline schools from Dauphin Island to Destin. 8 months later, 36 Beacon crews streamed a floating fashion and dolphin harmony showcase aboard a retro shrimp scow draped in solar bunting, sunrise colors spilling into classrooms from Kingston to Kyoto. Pensacola Pier Fashion Night etched fresh wharf legend when a backstage blower shredded Mirabelle's teal mesh gown from hip to knee 90 breaths before curtain. She ripped neon dock rope off a rig brace, laced the gap like boat hooks, and strode the boards as if the splice had lived in every sketch. Camera shutters popped like kettle corn. Vogue Golf labeled the Save Rope Cadence Rescue, and Lantern Ripple gained another million lantern sparks even before brass horns warmed the after-party sky. Trouble circled again when a former egg leaked clipped emails hinting she demanded scallop tower banquets and chauffeured airboats for her rescue pelican Halo. She posted the chain end to end, refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption displays for deaf stylists, then directed that month's affiliate Swell $134,000 into biodegradable crab trap pilots along Appalachie Bay. Fans echoed her pier mantra, receipts shine brighter than rumor grit until whispers flatten like tide pool glass. Family pins her compass true. Twice a month she streams Porchline Groove, Mom sliding soulful riffs beside a propane griddle, Dad reciting cloud haiku, Mirabelle flipping thrift denim while Halo waddles powder sugar rings nearby. One broadcast sailed past 9 million views when the bird sneezed glitter onto the lens. A wildlife rescue now sponsors every session, tagging healed pelicans with solar beacons paid for by Coastlark Cream. Revenue crested above $12 million before equinox, 12 months on. She leased a quiet oyster shed, punched skylights through corrugated tin, hired furloughed deckhands plus fashion graduates to whip custard and knot lids by hand during midday funk sets. Auditors pushed shrink seals. She quoted Granny Maybelle, "Fingers remember legacy long after plastic forgets," and rope tie stayed. Her feed rings honest weather. Basalt Bluffs posed beside gumbo selfies captioned "Same sky, different tide." She shares breath loops recorded in sinkhole caves, printable resilience sheets in English and Creek, codes for sliding scale therapy buried 3 swipes down. 139,000 readers call her shoreline candor their first calm harbor. Community rides glow under crushed shell glitter. Hundreds wheel sunset causeways wearing Coastlark cream on collarbones. LED kelp tassels whirling from spokes. Ticket money fattens Beacon grants and lifts wheelchair snorkel lifts over silty springs. Chowder joints bubble late. Conch chow cups rise 15% on ride nights. Mirabelle pedals lead on a vintage cruiser with Halo plush strapped in front, stopping to knot any rider's loose lace. She is shaping a memoir titled Currents Keep Names for 11 Language Shells Next Spring, while a documentary team tracks her blueprint to weld retired buoy chains into floating maker labs for Bayside schools. Puma's White-Toe Wave Lantern sneaker lands next quarter threaded with reflective rope, cushioned by algae foam, steering 10% of revenue into Beacon Nurseries hugging the Gulf Rim. Second reminder, flows gentle. If your subscribe badge still burns red, let it settle gray right now. One fingertip secures the next, tied in your notifications before algorithm undercurrents shift the route, and the love link beneath remains ready when your own heart wants to hoist new sails. Autumn tide eases towards slack water, fresh tins of coleslaw cream, beacon grant portals, tonight's porch line playlist, and the confidence compass thousands use to glide from hello to spark alway in the description, free and one tap distant. Let the soda cap, spine shimmer, rope lace gown, rescue, or halo glitter sneeze coaxed even half a grand tap light. Launch your brightest ripple in the comments and share the crossing with any friend whose sails hang slack. Every curve reroutes currents, every scar refracts lighthouse beams, and the coast bows to anyone who plants steady boots on the pier and grease tomorrow eyes bright. Third lift of invitation lands now. Subscribe this heartbeat, claim your rail. Open that love link below and meet me on the next rising tide when another story flickers just beyond the breakers and courage calls your name once again.